Hey, I'm here with Brett Bonetti from Perth 6IX Forever Classic.
Yeah, you did very well then, Elwood.
We're at Perth Supanova 2025. And Brett, recently you've been doing a lot with the UFC, haven't you?
Yes, I actually had a fight night last night, Eternal MMA, Australia's best MMA promotion. We're there for Eternal 97, and it was live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass. So went to a worldwide audience, and it was a very successful show last night. Perth HBC was packed. It was very loud, sensational fights, and Perth's first UFC champion, Jack Della Maddalena, the UFC welterweight champion and former Eternal welterweight champion, was in the house as well, and he was in the cage for and spoke to the crowd, and very exciting night, especially for him as well.
Yes, wow. Can we expect a lot more of the UFC here in Perth?
I believe, and this hasn't been announced yet, but everyone knows that the UFC is coming back to Perth, but they don't have a date. But I believe it'll be, I think, September 28th. So put that in your calendar. That's not set in stone. That's probably more of a guess, but that is a day after the AFL Grand Final, which is obviously a big sporting event in WA. And the reason why I bring that up is usually Eternal would come back a day before the UFC. I'm not sure whether they will because, again, with the AFL Grand Final the day before, probably not a good idea to put it up against a major sporting event like that. So I think Eternal will be back probably in October, but I believe that the UFC will be back in Perth at RAC Arena for a fight night, not a pay-per-view event, on Sunday, September 28th, I believe that's the date.
September 28th, put that down. So, Brett, you've been to many fights doing your commentating and whatnot, and I'm sure you've watched a lot of fights yourself.
A lot of fights over the years.
But I've been wanting to know, do you have a singular fight that has been your absolute favourite to watch?
There's probably been too many, and again, I follow boxing. That's where I first got involved with Danny Green, with UFC. First with Sol the Hulk Palele, and then in Jack Della Maddalena. We've got guys coming up that are in the UFC right now: Steve Astro Boy Ursek, and Quillan Salkild, Rock of the Mo, and Cody Haddon. So we've got so much talent here, but I've called so many fights over the years. It's a bit hard to actually pinpoint one in particular, but there's been some sensational fights over the years, both for Dragonfire Boxing and for Eternal MMA as well. So it's a bit hard to narrow it down, but I can probably keep you all day with the amount of good fights I've had the privilege to call, right from ringside or cage side.
Yeah, wow. Are there lots of upcoming fighting talent in Perth at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I just mentioned four of those guys that come through the ranks. Again, I was calling the fights with former UFC fighter Kyle Noak, as a pioneer of Australian MMA, and we're calling the prelims. And we're talking about the up-and-coming talent that was on that card last night. But those are the exact same spot that guys like Cody Haddon and Quillan Salkild were fighting on, and they've made their way to the UFC now. So the talent is so strong, especially in WA. I'm not sure what's in the water in WA with MMA fighters, but again, Jack Della, Maddalena, again, I called his last fight for the UFC, for Eternal before he went to the UFC. So you heard my voice on the UFC promos at Dana White's Contender Series when he won his contract, and now is the UFC welterweight champion. So much talent coming through. It's a very exciting time for Perth combat sports fans.
Wow, that's great. You mentioned earlier how you first into wrestling. Do you have anything that you know about the upcoming WWE that's coming?
WWE, I mean, that's, at the moment, the hottest ticket at the award-winning RAC Arena is the UFC, but that might be challenged by the WWE, which is coming in October. It's going to be like 3 days of huge events. I think it's October 11, where it's the Crown Jewel, which is a PLE event, a premium live event at RAC Arena. But the day before that, October 10, will be Friday Night SmackDown, also at RAC Arena. Then you fast forward to Monday, the October 13, you've got Monday Night Raw. At RAC Arena. So there's three quality events. I don't believe that a Raw or a SmackDown has never been to Australia before, and Perth gets it, as well as a PLE event. I mean, again, we had the Elimination Chamber at the award-winning Optus Stadium last year, and they had 55,000 people there. I had magnificent seats for that. I had a good role to play in that event as well. But yeah, fast forward to this year, to have that 3 events in a row, and there's actually a package that's been released very soon where fans can actually buy tickets to the 3 combos. So buy tickets for those 3 magnificent events, and you'll get obviously a pretty good price, especially if you're a WWE fan.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I actually saw you last time at the WWE.
That's right. We run into each other. I was doing the walkout, the binge walkout. So yeah, I actually had a chat. There's Elwood. So yeah, it was good to see you there last year. But again, those are sort of the experiences that the media career that I've had is able to get me involved in, whether it's the combat sports game of the WWE or Supanova, because it's able to me to get involved in a lot of different areas that I have interest in. So it's a blessing when we get those sort of experiences.
Yeah. Is there lots of stuff from your radio stuff that is going on at the moment?
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in the radio world. At the moment, I'm at Forever Classic 6IX, so great music. So tune in, especially on digital radio. But yeah, there's a lot happening in the radio. But that's the sort of things that have opened up the door, because again, I've been in the media a fair bit the last few weeks with the controversy over the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, because that was set to go down on Saturday, July 19, also at RAC Arena. But the WA Combat Sports Commission denied a permit at the 11th hour. It's been all over the news over the last few weeks. I was on the ABC 7:30 report just this following week talking about that. My opinion is, again, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But yeah, to me, it's so the politicians can make some noise to sort of say, look at me, vote for me. Right. Whether they really care or not, I'm not entirely sure. That's up to them. But it's also for the media, so they can have their stories as well. I mean, that ABC interview that I did during the week, I believe that they thought that they had some gotcha questions or gotcha moments, because the AMA, the Australian Medical Association, doesn't like it. But I've been working with 2 of the best doctors for 18 years. Right. And if I'd rather take advice from them rather than people who want to ban all combat sports, which is never going to happen before. So sorry to bring controversy into the interview, but again, it's been in the news, and it's sort of like something I've been involved in over the last week. But again, it's probably more as a role as the voice of combat sports in WA, which I'm known as, and a combat sports commentator. Because remember, I've commentated fights for Eternal MMA on UFC Fight Pass. I've commentating world title fights for Dragonfire Boxing. I've commentated world title fights for the best Muay Thai promotions in WA as well. So, and the sport's brought me, taken me across the world. I mean, again, I've called fights in China, Russia. I was in Russia in 2020, and that was obviously good timing because it was 3 months before COVID hit, and obviously a war broke out. So, so I got there at the right time before any of that happened. So the sport has brought me, opportunities to go all around the world as well.
Oh my goodness! Well, we've got commentator extraordinaire. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for calling me extraordinaire, but I was trying my best and I try and help. But it's a pleasure to talk to you again, Elwood, and look forward to seeing you around the traps, WWE, and have to get you and Ian to the fights pretty soon as well, and get you involved in combat sports as well as the stuff that we really love doing here at Supanova.
Of course. All right. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.